Hello, everybody. Hello, it's me, it's Andy, Decayed Andy here. When pre-show, pre-Moonbase 2-win, I'm here with Big D again. Hey, Big D, how's it
Hello.
going?
I'm very well, sir. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm existing. It's another day on the moon, I suppose, which is where, of course, we are today. Moonbase 2. Live on the moon. I've shipped
nice
you up
driven
using
down
Amazon
Earth.
drones, of course, because I imagine that's the well, maybe what Foundation X. What's Elon Musk's space company called again?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. Okay, Foundation X is a Kamen Rider thing. That's my bad. We got you shipped up. Elon Musk put you on a rocket and sent you up in a shuttle here. Special delivery.
Well, I suspect Musk is probably more evil than the Kamen Rider version.
I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I wouldn't know. He's doing well for himself, which is all I know. So it's like if he ever wants to sign up to the Patreon, he's more than welcome to. I'm not sure how big of a Transformer fan.
Can he afford to? He halved the value of Twitter in a year.
Yeah, but it's only $2 to sign up to the Moonbase 2. So it's like I'm pretty sure one of the richest men in the world could afford $2. Come on, Elon. $2, man. I gotta eat, man. I'll suck your dick if you sign up to Moonbase 2. Goddamn.
Man, that's the way to shill.
Well, you gotta get your podcasts out there somehow.
You gotta do what you need to.
Yeah, they're not tears dribbling down my face. I can tell you that much. It's just sadness, salty sadness.
I'm glad you clarified. No, that didn't help. Actually, did it? No.
Nope. Gotta dance for your money, baby. Woo woo. Again, the tears. You doing well though? You said you're doing good. It's been a good week.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of an upswing this week, which has been nice.
Ooh, good. So, good.
Yeah.
Are you going to dig out some of those Inquisitor figures?
Well, I know where they are this time. I'll probably do that in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'd like you to dig them out and put some pictures of them because I saw the video put up on the Fluff and Hammer page, which was Eric some things, which I like his stuff, even though I can't remember his bloody name off the top of my head. I like his work, and I saw those minis, and the minis looked really interesting because they're big.
Were you doing the hobby when Inquisitor came out, or did you get it afterwards?
I started when I started when the first multi-part kits began coming out, like the Chaos Warriors. When they redone all of the Greater Demons.
The plastic Greater Demons or the metal Greater Demons?
Metal Greater Demons.
Okay, so that was...
when they came in the black boxes.
Yeah. That was like the late 90s, early 2000s they did that. Inquisitor launched, I think, in 2001.
Yeah, I stopped after. I stopped a while after because I had no one to play with. I didn't like the painting. I didn't even try painting at that stage because I was like, I know I'm shit. Why would I try painting?
Hey, that's fair. Sometimes it's one of those hobbies where until you take that first step and start to build your confidence, it can be really hard to get going, especially when you see all the lovely heavy metal pictures and stuff, you just go, I can't do that.
It might have helped if I knew that most of those miniatures never had their backs painted. It might have made me feel a bit better about myself.
That would help.
Yeah. But I didn't have anybody to teach me how to paint, so I was just slopping it on as well. I had quite a big army. I used to play with my mum at the time, but she had a smelly high elf army, so it was fun to kill her, as you do.
That's fair.
Yeah, chaos with the broken chaos armor versus high elves.
Oh god, chaos! I've always been an Empire player.
Oh, okay.
So for me, chaos armor was my bane. Apart from one thing, back when GW did their last ever set of sales, as in they reduced the prices of stuff in the store. I basically bought a Nolan artillery train. And by that I mean 4 great cannons, 2 mortars, and 3 hell blasters.
Oh, that would be really cool.
The original metal versions.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah, I still have them in a box, and I just need to get wheels for them.
Oh,
plus
that's nice.
The plastic ones I bought later. But yeah, I just went all in on an artillery and did the infantry later on just as a screen.
Oh yeah.
because don't get an armor save against a cannonball bouncing through you.
No, that's the thing. I mean, I think the only way the thing my mum had to quickly do was buy bolt throwers, and even then, I had 2 regiments of warriors and like a set of knights, and it was just she couldn't do anything.
Well, put it this way, if you're an Empire player, you have to learn very quickly how to gauge where to drop your guessing ranges for artillery fire.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because back in the day, you had to like bounce your cannonballs, didn't you? There wasn't just like, oh, it's like 6 inches. It's just, well, it might be 6 inches, but then you can just bounce the ball.
So
yeah,
it was all the Empire artillery. So the cannons, you had to make sure you got it just in front of the block so it could bounce.
Yep.
I mean, ideally, you wanted it to hit someone and then bounce, because then you'd just obliterate someone first. The mortars, you really had to be precise with.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the joy of a Hell Blaster volley gun.
Oh, they're good.
You just put it in a flank and say, come at me, bro.
It's a good time.
So the Scourge of skirmishes everywhere.
Oh, if anybody wondered in chat, it's Eric Hobbies Works. Eric's Hobbies Workshop. I like his videos. He does a lot more old Warhammer stuff than compared to like quote unquote new Warhammer, like the modern stuff. He always goes back and does like the old stuff, like the Inquisitor game.
It's so depressing being told that that's old, and I still have my copy of the rulebook.
Well, you got to remember, like, I consider old Warhammer things where you could buy metal figures in blisters for £5. Remember? Yeah,
mate, I can remember you could buy two metal Terminators for £2.50.
I know, right? To be fair,
that was when I started, when it was even cheaper.
To be fair, like Warhammer then was kind of rough if you're like an undead player, because if you wanted to get like a regiment of whites, Graveguard, not whites, Graveguard, you got like what was it, 3 in a pack?
It was just metal.
Yep, that was
metal and more metal.
Yeah, it was rough. Depending on some armies were worse than others. It's like, well, the poor undead kind of got screwed over sometimes. Yeah, it's GW. It's what happens, isn't it? But
Inquisitor was a really fun game. To be fair, the scale was a real surprise at the time, because
it's more of an RPG, right? More so than it is like a skirmish.
It's very
game.
much an RPG / narrative war game.
Yeah,
the idea is that everyone's playing Inquisitors. And it really expanded out the lore of the different ordos, and the fact that you had radicals and Puritans, and then different flavors of those as well.
I
mean, Eisenhorn came from there. He was one of the launch characters for that book. He's on the cover. Actually, no, he's not Eisenhorn. It's another one of the other Inquisitors, sorry, but he was kind of like the northern narrative stuff in the book. He was one of the main voices, and I think Dan Abner did do most of the writing for the book as well, and then took him onwards to much greater things.
Yeah,
but no, it was great fun, because everything was about, you rolled your characters, and things got bonkers, because it's like they had rules for a space marine. It's where Artemis came from for the Death Watch. And it's probably the only time at that point where a space marine was accurately depicted versus everyone else.
He turned them to mush, basically.
Yeah, because everyone else, because Inquisitor worked on a D100 skill system effectively.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, it was massively granular. But Space Marines, on top of their baseline stats, were pretty much all over 100.
Oddly enough, it sounds very similar in a sense to. Have you seen the upcoming game Rogue Trader that's coming out soon?
Yeah,
it sounds like that Rogue Trader is a sort of weird adaptation of this.
It's pulling a lot of that. Well, they kept a lot of it going in some of the subsequent role playing games. But the funny thing about that Space Marine is that was him before you put him in power armor.
Sure, yeah.
Because power armor could juice up anyone.
Yeah,
but a Space Marine just became ridiculous. They moved faster than anyone else. They hit harder, more accurately, more times. how they carried a bolt gun, which in that setting was a bolt gun did what a bolt gun should do to things.
Yeah, it's basically a cannon. It's a cannon with explosive bullets.
Yeah, but no, it was very lots of fun. I mean, I and my friends, my housemates, we bought a copy and we picked up various minis and started building our own little war bands.
So how many did you get, out of interest? Do
you
have Eisenhorn?
I had Eisenhorn. I kit bashed into my Inquisitor Lord, gave him a funky handlebar mustache and Widow's Peak hairstyle straight back.
Very nice.
I got the Inquisitor Covenant figure. I kit bashed him into my Interrogator because I used parts from one of the upgrade kits they did for a Veteran Guardsman. Actually, no, I tell you, I picked up the first Veteran Guardsman they did, and then the upgrade kit to convert him, and I used the parts left over to convert Covenant.
You mean the mail order stuff that you had to get separately because it wasn't in store?
Yeah. I had the Death Cult Assassins.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Who I use green stuff to cover up all the slits in their face masks to make them a bit more anonymous.
Okay.
The Veteran Guardsman, who I kit bashed a flamer for out of a Sentinel Heavy Flamer.
And
then the one I'm most proud of, but he doesn't exist anymore because I took him completely apart and stripped him down. I took it was a second edition Imperial Guard Ogrin. The one with the vest top and a fist raised high covered in a chain.
Oh yeah.
I took him. I used the tail from a Bretonnian Hippogriff to give him a ponytail. Gave him a riot shield from being the Arbiter character that my friend had left over. And I sculpted him so that he had a big bushy moustache and beard, goggles, a stoogie, and a baseball cap.
You're definitely going to have to get them on the Fluff and Hammer, man. I really want to see what these look like.
He was my squat guild biker.
Nice.
And this was in 2002 when they didn't exist anymore.
Wow, yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, sadly he doesn't exist anymore either because I stripped him years ago, sadly.
Well, like I say, get some images up on the Fluff and Hammer.
Yeah,
and, Discord and proper page. It looks interesting. I like the idea of it. Anyway, we should probably get on to talk about some Transformers this week. So I will play some music for the fans, and that's when you'll know it's Moonbase time. Where is the music button? There you are, music button. Okay. Music time. Let's go.
Booyah.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, and I'm joined here by the man that makes Inquisitors out of many things. It's Big D himself. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going? You doing well this week?
I'm doing all right, actually. And yourself, good sir.
Yeah, I am continuing, which is the main thing. We don't have a lot of Transformers news to go through this week, unfortunately. But hopefully there'll be a few little tidbits here and there that we can talk about and have a good time with as I slowly bully you to start painting more things because I want you to get your things painted. I don't have the gumption at the moment to do it. I'm not in the painting mood, but I want you to do it. I want you to be better than me, Big D. I've got better hopes for you than I do for myself.
I need to take a picture sometime and show you where my tail currently is that I want to be painting at.
Oh, is it buried under stuff?
Yeah, but it's the fact that I've managed to get the table moved to where I want it to be so I can paint.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't there about a month ago. It was somewhere else. So I had to do a bit of... I've been doing a major rejig of my room. It's where I dug up all the stuff I was showing in the updates in the Fluff and Hammer.
Oh, nice.
But
I never asked. Did you dig up any what they called Dogs of War?
No minis, because I actually I do still have some Dogs of War minis knocking around.
Oh, you
Odd
Johnny
ones here and there.
bastard.
Well, I've got like the Mercenary General on horseback.
Okay, yeah.
With sword, because that was actually probably my favourite miniature of that entire line,
Hmm.
and probably of that entire period. And it's one I wanted. I was using it for my old Empire army back in the day. Otherwise, I've only got a few odd minis I bought for projects, which never really went anywhere.
Man, you need to get those Dogs of War out. Dogs of War are so cool. They're really good minis.
They are. I was just listening to the Painting Phase podcast earlier on with Alessio talking about that book, and Alessio Cavatore, because he contributed some of the writing to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just some of the fluff. He was one of his first pieces of published work for GW.
Ah.
Just writing a bit of fiction for it. But it's the fact that Nigel Stillman went to him and the translation team to ask questions about Renaissance and medieval Italy and the Warring States.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but no, I like Dogs of War. It's a concept I wish GW had done more of. I get why they didn't, but
yeah, I mean those minis now are like disgustingly expensive second-hand market eBay prices, horrifying prices. Horrifying. But we're not talking about minis straight away today. We are talking about a painted thing that someone did.
Yes.
It is the new Hallmark Optimus Prime Christmas ornament, Moonbase 2 classic, to talk about Christmas ornaments here. At first I was like, oh, it's just a crappy Optimus Prime ornament. Okay, I'm not going to look at it. And then I took a zoom in shot and had a look at it and went, oh boy, that sure is a thing, and we'll get to that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. We'll get.
I hadn't zoomed into it before.
I know, right? You just thought it was an Optimus Prime thing, didn't you? You looked at it and went, oh, I know what that'll look like. And then you see it up close and you go, oh no. This is, or was found in a Target store in Jersey Land in America World for $9. I think it is kind that anyone would spend $9 on it. Why is that? It's Optimus Prime in a fighting pose. And let's just say his face looks like it was painted by me as I was a child, or when I was a child.
The thing that really disturbs me about this, Andy, is that there's only one left on the hook.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody loves Optimus Prime, right?
And there's only two left on the hook in the other picture. It's just like, are people that desperate?
Maybe the ones in boxes are painted really well compared to the ones out of box.
I
don't know, man.
Honestly, I think the problem's, it's not just for painting that's the problem with this thing. Lordy.
Yeah, the sculpt's also pretty bad. In the close-up shot where you can see the nightmare that is his face, his abdomen area. Oddly, there's something about it. I don't know whether it's just the coloring, like the paint job on him. It looks to me a little bit like cake icing.
Yes.
It looks like someone could cut into it and it would just be cake. You know that show where it's like everything is cake? It's like you cut into this and be like, oh, well, this is obviously cake. Yeah. I wouldn't want to eat it, though. I imagine, cement isn't very good in your mouth. But I might be wrong. I've never tried it before. I think this is meant to be the evergreen Optimus Prime, but I don't know. He's been melted so badly, I can barely tell. Well, what do you...
Maybe I should have painted him solid grey and grayscale instead.
Somehow I think they would have messed it up.
Optimus Prime style. They
would have messed that up somehow, I think. What's your opinion on Transformer Christmas ornaments generally, Big D?
It's not a Transformer Christmas ornaments. I don't really do. I struggle to do regular Christmas ornaments, let alone themed ones. Honestly.
Oh wow.
That's just me because Christmas is always a very weird celebration for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with it. I quite enjoy Christmas time, but I treat it more as a chance to decompress and meet with family.
Mm-hmm.
The actual, I'm probably the atheist of atheists you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I try to be when I'm not swearing Lord Blue Heaven. But I just
hang on. Are atheists are not allowed to swear?
Well, technically, if you're an atheist, if you're swearing like Jesus Christ and Mother of God, yeah, that's not technically what Nathan's supposed to do, but most people get a pass.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's the invoking of the Lord's name, which okay, right, okay, it's not swearing.
Yeah, it's a grey area,
right?
Shall we say. But no, I just don't really do decorating generally.
Okay.
But much to most of my friends and family chagrin, to be honest. But man, this is even by the standards of branded franchise Christmas decorations. That don't look good.
No. Excel Hedge in chat says, "Are we sure it's not a dog toy and not a Xmas decoration?" I don't think I'd want to give this to my dog, to be honest. Excel Hedge, I think.
Unusual punishment, that.
Yeah, I feel like the dog might die if it had this in its mouth, even if it was, sculpted out of chewable material, rubber kind of things. It might have been had by the dog, which is why it looks like this. Maybe it's a Christmas decoration the dog has eaten and then soiled outwards. That could explain things. Prime's been through the ringer, as they say. Or colon.
I mean, let's put it this way, Prime's face looked better after he'd gone one-to-one of Unicron in the old UK comic.
Yes, yeah. There is a little bit of meltiness to him, isn't there, that the Marvel Comics sometimes went for.
Yeah, this looks worse.
Yeah. $9. At least it's priced somewhat cheaply. Still a little much for what it is.
I would feel bad paying money for that.
Yeah.
Let alone $9.
Yes, I agree. It's not something I would want. If you get them, dear viewers, if you are a avid Transformers Christmas decorations collector, that's probably the better way to phrase it. Let us know. Send me your Transformers Christmas decoration collections. I'll not shame you, but I will click my tongue and tut at you and go, all right. Okay. We have as well Kang Toys, the CY Mini 01 Ferro Mini, which is the Rampage. And hang on, did we talk about this one? No. We talked about Razor Claw last time. We've seen the combined form, so we're not going to talk about that. I don't know why they're showing the combined form again. This time we've got the mini version of the Rampage, which is the Puma, Jaguar, Cat. I don't know. It's that one. Now, you said last time that you were on the show, Big D, and we saw like uncolored images that you like the look of these guys. You were a little bit put off by the pricing on each of these mini boys because they're about 60 each for the size, which is still pretty big.
Yeah.
How do you think Rampage has turned out, being the one with the cat in his tumbly wumbly?
I do like how he looks. I'm tempted to say he possibly looks the most cohesive
in what
of
sense?
all of them so far. Well, the Stampy and Headstrong, they're pretty standard. Razor Claw is spiky as all get out, and Diveform has that massive backpack for the wings.
Yeah.
Rampage, other than the little bit of kibble on the back of his forearms for his feet, that's actually a really tidy looking figure.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it's a nice interpretation of the character. You can tell clearly who it is. That's not to say you couldn't do with the other ones. They are all clearly recognizable as Predacons. But this one, he's not as overly gribbly, I want to say. There's not as many greebles to him as to other ones. I mean, when they have the comparison of his grown-up version and the junior version, and that's not a bad comparison, to be honest. In fact, I'd argue that I prefer the smaller version to the bigger one.
In terms of the color placement, because if people didn't know, that there's a slight color variation between the two. The smaller one seems to have more orange on him than the bigger one, which has a lot more yellow on him.
A little more black in some places as well. There's a little more around the shoulders, for example. I mean, the bigger version is a saber-toothed cat, which I like the look of, but I prefer how the smaller one looks more like a regular cat which is kind of like a nice touch of the limitations of the design, of the scale.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
They had to go with that. But no, I dig that. You get the sword, you get the blaster. That's a nice set of weapons, and they clearly are designed to combine, which is nice. VR mode looks solid. The beast mode looks good. The Predator King combined does look stunning. As interpretations go, it's nice to see. I said before, my benchmark for these things is MMC's Feral Rex. It was one of the first third-party figures I bought as a group. It's one I'm still quite proud to have in my collection. And the way they interpreted the characters, I always quite liked it as being a very modern up take on those classic designs. And this is Kang Toys doing more of the same. They've clearly seen those characters and gone, right, what can we do to give them our own flavour? They've picked their lane and they've run with it throughout the entire line, which I like. And the fact that this is one where they added the gorilla, isn't it, to form the lower half of the torso, the legs and the thighs, and
at least with the big one, I guess we have to assume that this is probably the case for the smaller one as well. I guess.
Yeah, I think I saw a shot of a mini version of the gorilla as well somewhere.
Perhaps
he's probably coming down the line. But I mean, that combined mode is really nice. It's not quite as spiky as the full size version, which I like, because the wings at least did worry me, like the risk of cutting your hands open trying to pick the damn thing up. But no, it's a good solid take on Predator King that clearly has had a lot of thought put into it. So
yeah, I will agree with you. I think the smaller version of Rampage, because they've changed the colors on him, I think the colors are a bit more. Because they don't have the yellow ones, so it's not quite as aggressive on the eyes. I think it's quite egregious in places, just because it kind of pulls your eyes to too many spots, like on the thighs, on the biceps, on the cat neck, where this kind of makes it flow a little bit nicer color wise. I don't know how else to explain it, but
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it looks a little nicer.
I mean, the bigger version also mixes up it's got the orange and the yellow.
Yes,
which I think is possibly if it was all orange, whether you got yellow, I think that'd probably be a little more. It'd merge together a bit better.
I think maybe that's the issue with the bigger ones. Maybe there's just a few too much color splobbed all over the place.
Yeah,
sometimes the more simplistic design is better.
Yeah, because I mean the smaller one as well, you can see he's got a black on the biceps as opposed to yellow on the bigger version. He's got a black stripe and some orange on the shoulders rather than all yellow on the top. It's little things that just make it just come together better for me than the bigger version.
I'm no artist or anything, but I think generally when you look at a figure and you can just go like for the Armada Megatron, legs are green, thighs are purple, waist is grey, torso is grey, shoulders are black. You know, if you can just go, the colors are like there and there and there and there and there. It works quite well for your eyes. Well, with the big one, it's like his feet are black, his bottom half of his shins are red, his top half of his shins are orange. There's for the rest of the shin, it's kind of orange. Then the thighs are black. Then the waist is like red plus kind of an orangey as well. Then the torso has silver on it and black and yellow and red as well. It's just a bit much for your eyes to take it all in. I think that's why G1 simplistic Transformers look nicer visually to the Michael Bay designs, because again, your eyes just go, I can see what that is. It's just it's a transforming Truckman robot rather than that's Optimus Prime from the movies. What the fuck? He's just exploded into 1,000 pieces, and then is a robot.
Yeah.
But you know, that's I simplistic sometimes works. Luckily, I think the combined mode does look good, and I think the smaller robots look quite nice as well.
I will say, if I see these guys as a gift set, the whole team at this scale, I'm going to say if they did a gift set, you're probably looking at least 200.
Yeah.
If
well,
not
remember,
250.
each of them's about 60, I think.
Yeah. But I would quite happily buy a gift set of the whole team at this scale.
Okay, ballsy. Okay.
Hmm.
Would you not buy them individually just on the basis that it's far easier to get them in one go and not have to like piecemeal them? Because there is like always a fear with like buying third-party combiner figures where you buy like 5 of them and you need 4 of them, and then the 5th one sells out and you can't get it.
Well, my concern was more: is it actually even easy to get for previous figures at this point?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You mean like jumping onto the line now and then going back and picking them up? Yeah, that can also be an issue. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I did jump on Feral X, I think there was one figure had been out, because I think I started with Dive Bomb and Razor Claw. I had to go back and I think it was one of the, it was either Headstrong or t'other one of the 2 legs. I had to get unboxed basically from an eBay seller. Great condition, no complaints there, but it was a bit of a disappointment that I didn't have them all boxed because I'm obsessive like that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's a nice collection to have in that way.
Yeah.
And having to go, when I got the first one, it's like, oh, damn it, I'm going to go back and get the rest of these. Oh well, can I get this one easily?
The answer was no, but you managed to in the end, though. Thankfully.
Yeah. So,
makes sense. Yeah. But I think from one combiner, we can move on to another, if you would. DNA Designs are doing another upgrade kit. I don't know how well this one received compared to the last one. It's the DK47 Legacy Core Class Dinobots / Volcanicus upgrade kit. So this turns the Legacy Dinobot Core Class figures, and it adds things. Let me tell you the things that it adds. It gives them replacement combiner arms plus hands for swoop, combiner arm fillers, and hands for Scar. I don't know which one Scar is, but we'll get to it. 2 combiner swords ×2, combiner feet, combiner crotch, replacement dino torso / wings for Grimlock. That's his little back wings, I suppose. 6 guns for the Dinobots and 6 swords for the Dinobots as well. So it's not a huge set, I suppose, but it's substantial. I know people love to get the guns and the swords for the Dinobots. I've never really cared too much personally. The big things, I would say, are the feet and the forearms with the hands on for the Volcanicus things, and obviously he has the big swords as well. What do you think of this upgrade kit then, Big D? Because I can't tell from the Grimlock what the wings do differently. How much it changes him, I can't tell. They look pretty similar to me.
They've given him, looks like, slightly better arms, basically.
How are they better?
Mode. I think they're on a better joint. Looks like they're on a ball joint.
Rather than a swivel?
Yeah.
That makes them better? Doesn't look like you get a huge amount of articulation from them.
Joint in there as well.
I think it's quite hard to tell from this image what the wings do. I think the intention is, like you say, to give him better dinosaur hands, but I don't. If it's just like those arms are on a ball joint, I don't think you're going to get a huge amount of really cool poses out of them, so it seems a bit redundant.
No. But I think with Grimlock especially, there's a lot going on there with his limb mode that's different to the stock version. I think that might probably be why the wings do as well. They've been designed to help out with that mode. I'm not entirely sure, to be fair. Just trying to. It's an odd one, this one, because I mean, props to them for doing the full team plus Scar. Is it Scar?
Apparently, one of them's called Scar.
Yeah, the Ankylosaurus dude who formed
the that's arm. Him. Yeah.
Which is a nice touch of bringing that character into the team proper.
Is it?
They're not. Well, he was in.
I mean, that's a Hasbro thing as well. Hasbro did that rather than the upgrade kit. The upgrade kit just went, here's some guns for you to hold, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is a bit of a shame that it's not a bad kit at all. But I think, there's another group. Is it Juki? The guys who do a lot of filler kits. So they did quite a few for the Dinobots as well. The leader class ones.
Right.
They've got a upgrade kit for this set coming as well.
Do you know what theirs does?
Gives you the forearms
Mm-hmm.
for Swoop, and actually Swoop has a forearm and hand. Scar, I think, just comes with some additional bits to add around the forearm that's already there, plus the hand. So it doesn't do it. It doesn't give you a whole new forearm. I don't think it does. I know that you do get 2 additional. They do a version of the. There's a version of the set you can get that gives you an additional set of arms, so you can have 4 arms,
Right.
which is slightly random, but okay. And does the same as these, so you get new feet and just some little quality of life improvements. But I think it's supposed to be priced a bit cheaper than DNA. Because DNA is always they've been a bit pricey.
DNAs are really expensive for what they are. They're really expensive.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine if you've got a set and these Dinobots, you want to give them a bit of love. Sure. At least you've got options.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah. That's true. I will say that I think combined together, like when you get them combined together and you give this Feral Rex thing the forearms and the feet, you can see this as a substantial improvement from the original one.
Absolutely.
The original one, because the original one's crap. It's just crap. It's a crap combined mode. It looks bad.
Yeah.
I think the Abominus from the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters line looked better, and that was pretty crap as well.
Yeah.
This helps it. I don't think it's going to be worth it, because what's the price of a core class in the UK? It's like £12.
Yeah.
So
that's what? That's
1, 2, 3,
80
4,
odd quid
5.
just for figures.
Yeah, and then probably £20 to £30 or more for the upgrade kit. So for everything here, it's like 120 maybe, give or take. Just having a guess, stab in the dark kind of idea. It's a little rough. If you've already got it, if you're already in on these, I mean, it does make them look better. It doesn't fix the fundamental issues that the individual robots have. Like Sludge is still crap, and he's still got broken, crappy legs that aren't good.
His legs are hilarious.
They're hilariously
First time
terrible.
I saw that, it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, you don't think they did it the way they engineered it the way that they did, but they did, and it was just a bad call. I do kind of like, but I'm also confused what the combined form of the accessories are, where they've kind of blobbed them all together. Is it meant to be a throne? Is it meant to be like a Stargate? I don't know. Or is it just meant to be we can stick these things together? I guess it's a set for them to play around, but I don't know what it is.
No,
you know?
I mean, it's a way to put everything together.
Yeah. Like I say, you could fudge it in your mind to it being a gate, right? Because you've got the 2 swords, and like the energy would come in between them, and they'd walk through it, through the gate, I guess. Otherwise, I don't know what this is meant to be, because it's clearly not a throne. Grimlock can't sit on it.
No.
It feels like they just tried something, just gum them all together and hope for the best, I guess. Yeah, you know,
It's what it is.
Yeah.
Third party on a third party.
Yeah,
they're going to do what they do.
Yeah, it's a shame it's not a great set to begin with. I would argue, but I guess if they do the Dino King repaint, which was something that I remember me and Mikey thought they might do, I don't know if that's going to happen now, because they don't really. They don't really repaint the core class figures. They do the core class figures and then just go, well, you might get them again in the future, maybe. I don't know.
And the thing is, these don't really work as any of the Dino King characters.
No, the hope was these are combining dinosaurs, so, what are you going to repaint them into?
They'd have to do a lot of retooling.
No, it's just I think the assumption me and Mikey had then was just they just repaint them.
It.
Yeah, don't care. Just repaint. Oof. Easy enough. Hey, Hasbro's done it before.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we might not even get that. I think I convinced myself if they did that, I wasn't going to do it because I'm cheap. And I don't think I'd really want that. The kit's coming out, though. Oh, XL Hedge has a message saying the problem with getting Feral Rex now is that the KOs have flooded the market, and eBay sells not knowing / caring about the difference between them. Yeah.
This is true. I have to say, though, I do fancy picking up one of the 50 quid KO Feral Rexes for my nephew at some point.
Oh, is it like how good of quality are they? Is it to the point like it's going to explode in your nephew's hand kind of thing?
Well, he survived worse.
Oh, well, that's fair. It's just I remember the Feral Rex is pretty sharp. I imagine him exploding into shards of plastic will make him even sharper. I don't know.
No, that's fair.
Well, it's 50 quid.
Maybe give it a little longer till he's a little bit older, and then
I think what you should do is you should get him. I don't know how easy they are to get now, but Zhang Toys. Do you remember how they KO'd the Titan's Return Headmasters? If you could get some of them, they were really good. I've still got some of them, and they're great figures. They're not. I have to say, they're not just big. They're better quality than the Hasbro releases as well, which is sad.
Yeah. Every time I see the oversized KOs of any of the modern Transformers, I look at them and go, ooh.
I tell you what, I was sad I never picked up. I never bought the undersized version of the Titan class Devastator, which I kind of wanted.
I've heard about that one. I'm sure I keep seeing it on AliExpress.
You probably do. It's still probably in the market. At one point I was going to get the G2 version because it's the best version. It's the G2 version. It's yellow. But I never got around to doing it because I thought it was I thought the Titan scale was too big for that figure. It looked silly, and I thought like scaling it down to like Combiner Wars size, which I think it turned out to be, made a lot more sense and looked okay. Much better.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I've got the Takara version again just across from me. So
wow. I don't think there was much of a difference though between the Takara and the US one. Maybe a few panels.
They gave you guns for all the individual robots, which you didn't get in the Combiner Wars version.
No, why would you?
And they also improved the actual base robots because, like, the Combiner Wars versions, most of them didn't have any articulation in the limbs.
Oh,
so
that's
no
right.
elbow joints.
That's right. Yeah, they actually gave. I remember seeing the images and they popped on. Some of them worked. Some of them. When I say worked, some of them visually worked. Some of them didn't. Like, wasn't it?
Long Haul's elbows were wonky. His arms were always poor. Yeah. The elbows. They did a little bit for him.
Yeah, it was one of those things where he doesn't have an elbow, right? It's just a giant square cut.
He just has a hinge in his arm, which it does the job, but it's not great. But the rest of the team actually looked pretty good with that increased articulation, to be honest. There's a lot for them.
I'm not sure I'd go with pretty good. I'd say with better. They were actually transforming individual toys. Takara did what they should have done originally, or Hasbro should have done originally, and given them, something. Just scale them down and I would have been happy. XL Hedge says, Mang Motion has a video of the 4-armed upgrade set. I think that's the set that you're talking about, or talked about for the guy. And also said, people will just preemptively buy upgrades for Dino King / from Monstructor. I could see that. Hope that's not the case, but yeah, sometimes people just be hoovering up third-party kits. Do people KO DNA? They must do, right?
Yeah, there's actually a KO with the Motormaster set doing around. So
oh, really?
It's about half the price of... Actually, it's less than half the price of the official version, and apparently it's better quality.
Jesus.
It gives you an extra sword as well.
Jesus. Yeah. I
think they call it... It's listed as DNA K. Which you have to respect the balls to do that.
Well, they could have gone one step further and just put an O at the end, because that would have been funny. DNA KO. It's like, we don't give a shit. What are you going to do? We're probably the same factory.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah. So that's DNA Designs. We also got a new images of the New Age Toys H49 Hammond. It is Smoker's favorite. It's oh god, what's his name? Marlboro, the Diaclone version. It's the F49M.
Is it Exhaust?
Phantomus is Marlboro or Exhaust, as you said. And there's also 49B, which is Caligari, which is the Shattered Glass redesign, or Slicer, as he should be known. So, Yeah, it's blue version of Wheeljack with evil face, which I always think looks good. I think the issues with the mold still remain, which I think he looks a bit small and tubby in a lot of ways. Can relate.
To be fair, Wheeljack seems to have struggled with that in the last few years because I don't know if you remember the first Generations Deluxe version of him they did.
The redo out of tracks, right?
Yeah.
That
version's hell of a tubby.
Yeah.
So, I still can't work out how his legs seem shorter than Trax's.
I never got the Wheeljack because I got the tracks and I was like, I don't want the Wheeljack. I didn't like the mold. I was like, yeah, I'm all right.
Well, it's at the point where I just wanted modern versions of these characters.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and I don't think we've really had a good mainline Wheeljack. None of them have really been great, have they?
I mean,
a lot of them are retools. Which one?
I like the Earthrise version. It's not perfect. I did have to buy an upgrade kit to make the legs hold together a bit better.
That's not a positive thing to say. He's a great figure. I bought a kit to make him functional. Yeah,
but I've done that with loads of figures in.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know. But he actually looks like I imagined him from the cartoon, which is kind of a key thing there, which they've always struggled with in the past.
Well, I mean, that's what they're trying to sell you on these days, so it should be something that they hit. If they don't hit it, then that's an issue. Yeah. And I do think it's usually a problem because he's usually working off someone else's mold and it's been retooled somewhat.
Yes. It's been quite nice that this version is a fresh mold just for him, which has been quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, third-party toys, they can do what they like, and they have. They've also given Slicer a new head. Oddly enough, I think the head looks more like Downshift, if you remember Energon Downshift.
Yeah.
He's got that head. If chat can remember, or people listening at home can remember that styled head, that kind of blocky look to it. That's kind of what he's got here.
I've got him knocking around here somewhere as well.
That would be a cool figure to do a new mold of, like Downshift. Actually, more muscle cars. If they wanted to do like more Transformer muscle cars, like Big Daddy.
Well, didn't they update him in Cybertron as in that black and green muscle car job? That was who in turn got redone as Big Daddy for
that was Downshift.
HFTV.
Downshift was the green muscle car. Was
that not what they called him in Energon as well, when he was Wheeljack, when he had the proper Wheeljack colours?
Oh, yeah, you might be right. That might have just been the Wheeljack name. They probably lost it. I'm sure he was called Downshift in Cybertron, though, in that muscle car form. But yes, I think he was also called Downshift in
Sorry,
Energon.
I thought you were talking about the Energon version.
No, I didn't like that. That was just kind of meh.
No, I agree. The muscle car was a really nice bit of design.
Yeah, it was fun. Didn't have the best Energon key gimmick, but most of them didn't. So what can you do?
No.
More muscle car Transformers. Come on, do them. You've got characters that you could use for muscle cars. Do them, cowards. Yeah. And the exhaust version of the figure, again, has a new head to look like exhaust. And he has this lasagna printing. It doesn't say lasagna, but it kind of looks like lasagna on the front of his car mode. Just to make him look like...
You mean Lancia?
Yeah, lasagna. And it says Goodfellas on the very bottom of the thing where the license plate would be. So Goodfellas lasagna, everybody's favorite. Smoking favorite, ladies' favorite exhaust, promoting lasagna, and Goodfellas.
It says good flavor.
Oh, it does say good flavor. I guess for like a smoking company, I guess that makes sense to have good flavor. I don't know what it's like to smoke, but I imagine flavor is important. Question mark.
Well, it was Marlboro, wasn't it? A tagline back in the day. Welcome to Flavor Country.
Is that what it was? Jesus.
I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing all the old adverts for them, especially in Hong Kong, where it was all the American ads, and it was all cowboys and.
How does it taste better from other? Because isn't it just nicotine? Isn't it all just nicotine?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's weird.
I've never understood the marketing of cigarettes.
No, I mean, yeah.
No, that's not true. I understand it. I don't understand how people fall for it.
Well, I understood.
Other than people being stupid.
Well, from back in like the 50s and stuff, it's like, well, everybody just smokes. It's like, well, fair enough. I mean, like today. Well, not today because we don't have smoking adverts today. But yeah, I know what you mean from that era when you like, oh yeah, I'm just turning my lungs into like black
Yeah.
crumply crisps. It's like, maybe don't do that. I don't know. You do what you
Hmm.
like. Live your own life, I suppose. Whatever. But Marlboro, are you smoking yet? He is. He will be. Did any of these tempt you, Big D? If you had extra fundage?
Mm. I mean, I like both of them, to be fair. They're both quite nice repaints for what they are.
Hmm.
But the fact that she went the step and gave them extra different heads is a
It's
a
nice.
touch you don't. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
expect it. So to see it is nice.
Yeah. Well, for me,
I mean,
I've
Louis-
still got the
Louis-
issue with the waists and how he kind of looks a little bit dumpy. So for me, I'd still say no. But I do appreciate, like you said, I do appreciate the new head sculpts on them. It makes them a bit more unique. Not massively, but it makes them a different character. Feels like on the shelf they look different. I always appreciate a resculpted head over just a repaint.
And you know what? I always appreciate a Decepticon car.
Yeah.
More Decepticon grunts who turn into cars, please.
Yeah, kind of rare, I suppose. But there you
Yeah.
go. Something new from 3.0. I don't think we've talked about this before. We've talked about this line before. It's the MDLX. I think last time it was Megatron we talked about. This time it's Sideswipe. It's the 15 centimeter tall. Not talking about anything else, ladies. 6-incher. With 40 points of articulation, made with die-cast metal frame. With included one shoulder cannon, one laser blaster, and 5 sets of interchangeable hands, and includes a piston part. So I guess when you bend his knees, little pistons go off, which is always kind of fun to see that. It's their own kind of take on a Sideswipe figure. It kind of looks like he's wearing a chin strap to keep his hat on, which is kind of interesting. But there you go. He also comes with
that's always been part of Sideswipe's look, to be fair. It's just not always obvious.
Yeah, it's very obvious here.
Yes, it's very obvious.
Very, very in your face that he's wearing a chin strap. He's got his weird drill, quote unquote, rock puncher thing.
That'll be the pistons.
Oh yeah, you're quite right. I thought it actually meant piston effect. And then there is like I don't know. It looks like a meat hammer. You know the things the butchers have when they beat the shit out of meat.
Tenderizer.
That's the one. Yeah, I just call it. I won't say that. That might be mean what I say. I call it the wife tenderizer. Slap. Where's me sandwich, woman? Don't make me tenderize you. Come here. Boom. So that's the hammer he's got.
My meat hammer.
My meat hammer. Yeah, it's to beat my meat with. The meat hammer. Everybody's favorite. Don't judge me. He's quite poseable, unsurprisingly. Not non-transformable, obviously. Does not have the aesthetic to go with anything but 3 zeros designs. So if you have these are good. If you want this to go in with your collection of Transformers, it's not gonna work, boys. It's not gonna work. What do you think about the design generally, Big D? What do you think about his door, his forearm doors kind of being always pointing outwards? Kind of looks a bit weird to me, but it is a design choice.
Yeah, I mean it's fair design choice. It's at least it's consistent in it gives him a little bit of flair, which Sideswipe's always been one of those sort of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it actually makes it for flaring out works quite nicely with how they posed it in some of the pictures with his hands on his hips. If it was flat, it probably have looked a little bit less imposing. But no, I actually do quite like how his figure looks. It's clearly Sideswipe. Couldn't really be anyone else. They've got pretty much all the beats of the character down: red chest, shoulders, grey, black, red on the legs, shoulder cannon, pistol, weird pile driver things for his arms.
Sure, yeah.
But I dig it, and it's nicely poseable. What do these things go for normally?
Offhand, I don't know. Probably a lot because it's. Hang on, let's jump to their website. We could do that live on air. Why not? If the page loads, of course. I would. Does it actually say? It doesn't say there. Okay, let's look at previous releases. Okay, there must be the Transformer ones because the G.I. Joe they do a lot of things. I think we saw the Megatron last time, but I don't remember if we saw how much that Megatron is because They can range from, it seems like, the Anya from Spy X Family. Oh, that's Fig Zero. That's $100. Tekka Man, the Space Robo Do Tekka Man is $150. Evangelion's 150s. G.I. Joe's 150s, but these are like 1/6 scale, and I think they're statues.
Well, I'm just looking
all
at
over the shop.
the Transformers page now, and
69.
so they've got the DLX and the MDLX, and the MDLX seems to be priced between 90 and 120 US.
That's probably based on the size of the figure as well, I would imagine.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, for die cast, for the level of detail you get in, I can kind of see that because he's for a premium, smaller scale figure.
Yeah.
If he was more than that, I'd have probably gone, do what? Because, I mean, I saw some of their figures were priced at 230, and I thought, he can't be that much. I was like, oh no, he's not. Thank God for that. But
yeah, if you want the Optimus Primal, which is the DXL, that's 250.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the MGLX Optimus Prime is 80. So that seems like a sort of price point you'll be looking at.
Yeah, I think that's the same scale.
Which I think seems reasonable.
Is it the same scale? It's 7 inches
DLX,
tall, that one. Yeah, so he's going to be, I guess we can assume the size swipe's 50 to 70, I guess. I guess it depends how they want to price him. But yeah, okay. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not into the head design particularly.
Yeah.
I think the chin strap looks a bit weird. It's a bit much. I think you can have the big chin piece, but I don't like it going all the way up to the chin. Well, basically, it goes from his chin to his eyebrows.
Yeah, I get what you mean there. It goes right up to his, because he's got those extra bits around the cheeks just protruding. Which,
yeah, I think that's a little much for me from the design.
Yeah.
Otherwise, their redesign is fine. But then again, 3-0's never really been my cup of tea design-wise, but it looks like another solid piece of engineering, and I bet it handles well in hand, because these things are usually pretty high quality.
If you're already in on the 3-0 line, or if Sideswipe's a character you've got a particular affinity to, or even just want to take a dabble, this looks like it could be a perfectly solid figure to take a shot on.
It's interesting to do Sideswipe, right? Because they've done like some of the quote-unquote bigger named ones like Starscream and Megatron, and it's like Sideswipe. That's the next guy you do? Okay.
I mean, they've done B and Hot Rod prior, and Prime and Megs, and like you said, Starscream as well.
No Galvatron, though. Don't think they've done Soundwave, Shockwave. Names I would
it
say
is
are
odd to
bigger
move
than
to
Sideswipe.
Sideswipe and not do one of the Datsun brothers first.
Yeah, like Jazz, or like you say, Prowl. Like I would have thought Prowl or Jazz would have a higher profile. In terms of like, we need to get these guys out before Sideswipe. Nothing wrong with Sideswipe, but I wonder why.
Or even the inevitable repaint of Starscream.
Starscream. Oh, you mean repainting the Starscream mold? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant repaint Sideswipe into Starscream.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, wait, what? He's got his own figure, and it wouldn't make sense. What? Hang on now. I could say that maybe like retooling this base buck maybe into Sunstreaker, just to keep them sort of similar. Changing like the chest, the shoulders, obviously the new head, but keep the legs the same. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they wouldn't do that. But yeah, it's another boy.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's another one of these guys. If you like them, I guess you'll probably buy more of them.
They could very easily swap the chest and back pieces and get a Sunstreaker.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, you might need to change the back of the legs, but I don't know. Maybe that's not what 3-0 does. Maybe 3-0 doesn't just go in for the cheap repaints.
Wouldn't it be a refreshing change?
Well, I mean the figures are expensive enough, so I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
I mean they've done Inner Robot Ultra Magnus and Shatterglass Optimus Prime, so let's not give them too much credit.
Yeah.
And Goldbug, but
yeah, they haven't done Skywarp and Thundercracker as of yet. They haven't done Redwing or Nacelle, so they're really dropping the ball because everybody wants fucking Redwing and Nacelle. Lamau. Let us talk about a new Gamer Edition figure. Well, I presume this is a Gamer Edition figure, even though it's not going to technically be classed as that, because it's another Reactivate or Rise figure. Me and you talked about the Starscream Bumblebee 2-pack, like, 2 weeks ago? Something like that?
We did.
Now we see another figure coming out, all on his lonesome. It's Optimus Prime, because of course it's Optimus Prime. Of course it is. We see him in quite a few poses. There's a side-by-side, not a great side-by-side, a side-by-side with him on Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. He's bigger
there's another
than
one
him.
later on with him next to Batfigure and I think one of the possibly Studio Series Rise of the Beasts.
Rise of the Beasts, of Bumblebee of the Earth.
It's an Optimus Prime of the same scale.
Yeah. They're more comparable than shorter, slightly wider Optimus Prime. So he's going to be Voyager scale. I don't think that's crazy to assume. We see him with his Ion Blaster or Optimus Prime gun, whatever you want to call it, and also a symbiote axe, or what I think looks like a symbiote axe. Why do I think it looks like a symbiote axe? Because the part where it's forming from is completely black. The energy part is yellow, and then it's got black goo.
That's a really weird choice.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I have never seen an energy weapon with black goo inside of it. I don't, because that to me doesn't look like the black is the energy running through it, if you know what I mean. I don't know what they're trying to go for. It looks odd though. Maybe it'll look like that in the game and it'll make sense.
One thing I will say, that battle damage they were harping on about in the previous one is nowhere near as there's not as much of it on this one.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It is on here. If you look at the silver parts, they have scuffs on, but it's not like the Starscream, which is just like, what's the battle damage? Entire sections of the figure is just black for some reason.
I mean, whereas Starscream and B were quite asymmetrical in the color layout, this is much more symmetrical. So stuff that you weren't sure, is that battle damage or are they just lazy? This looks much more. The grill makes sense for it to have some scuffing on it. That's just weathering.
Yeah, this is the kind of battle damage that we probably should have had from Siege, where it doesn't interfere with the robot mode, but for the vehicle mode, it's in sensible places. And you go, yeah, like you said, it's like it's on the front of the truck, and you go, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can understand why it's there. It's just dirt that's been flicked up onto the truck. Fair enough. And for the robot mode, it kind of gets... I think it'll be a little bit more awkward when you turn the figure around to the side and you kind of see the scuffs from the side, but if you're just looking at the figure directly on, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's all good. How do you think the figure's turned out then, Big D? Because it looks fairly posable. I think this is a pretty good-looking Optimus Prime, generally.
I think so as well, to be honest. It's like a greatest hits Optimus Prime figure, effectively.
Why do you say greatest hits? What makes it a greatest hits?
Well, it's still clearly Optimus Prime, but it's not doing what the Earthrise figure did. It doesn't seem to have any of the same tooling, which is a refreshing change after they reused parts for Laser Optimus Prime.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep.
It's got the axe, which you didn't get with Earthrise, but they did it with the Siege version of the figure. It just looks really nice, if that makes sense. I mean, it's posable. You know what I'm actually just thinking of now, looking at it? The vehicle mode especially reminds me of Classics Optimus Prime. Not completely, but the way it's a modern Arctic.
I kind of think I get what you're saying.
Rather than Earthrise, which was the G1 design completely, this feels much more like they've taken a modern flat-nosed truck and they've made it into Optimus Prime. Because it feels like a much more modern interpretation of the character, as opposed to the old design with modern tooling.
Okay. Yeah, you can, if there's like side by side with the CGI artwork of what the figure should look like in this, and I think they've replicated it fairly well. They can't get it perfectly skinny because Optimus Prime in the game looks very slender. Like he's got an hourglass figure that would put a lot of girls to shame.
No waist.
No, he's got a waist. Well, he's got hips. He's got no waist. That's for sure. like I say, he's got an hourglass figure that a lot of women would
Yeah.
kill for. I can tell you that much, which is interesting to see. XL Hedge says, "What's with the grill on his backpack?" That's probably literally what it is. It's probably if I can find a
Yeah.
back image of him,
More than
like a
likely.
clean one. Yeah, it's. I don't know exactly where these grey bits are from on his back. It looks a little bit messy, but
Actually, no. I'm looking at the vehicle. They got a picture of the vehicle mode from different angles, and that
it's the side of the
on his
trucks, isn't it?
back.
The little canister things,
No,
whatever they
that
are.
grey bit on his back is the back of the truck mode.
In the back of the truck. See if I can find an image of it. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, I think I see which part you mean. Yeah, it's like the back of the cab, not the truck mode itself, but it's the back of the cab.
Sorry, the back of the cab. Yeah,
yeah. If you see these parts, XL Hedge, these round little weird nipple parts, which are for some reason on the CGI model as well. It seems like that's what these are. Where you peg the weapons onto. His back could be a little bit cleaner. It's fine.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit nicer, but I think generally speaking, it's okay. He's got a very G1 toy Optimus Prime head, I'd say, because his eyes are very, very tiny. Got a big grill, and it's kind of smushed up, if you know what I mean. It's not like the happy cartoon Optimus Prime head. It's much more of the toy version of the head.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to me, it's just like here's another G1 Optimus Prime. You know,
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, it's if we can not have Optimus Prime and do like Rodimus, that would be cool. I'd be all right with that. You know, Rodimus could do with a bit of love. We could let Peter Cullen not have to voice act for a little bit too. That would also that'd be terrible. I don't know.
Get Gary Chalk instead.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It'd be cheaper, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's another Optimus Prime. So for the Optimus Prime collectors, this is a must buy. I think most people are gonna, like most Transformers fans, will probably get this because it's a pretty solid looking Optimus Prime figure.
Yeah,
it's movie-ish.
It does a bit of everything for all audiences, really.
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
a bit G1,
probably
it's
what
a bit
they were
movie, it's got the video game vibe. It's a bit classics, it's a bit modern. Yeah. I can get that. I mean, I certainly am thinking now, I might have to grab one of those.
Oh, you damn sucker. You bloody sucker. They've got you. I think, well, I mean, you bought the Gamer Edition Fat Prime, didn't you? You said he wasn't
Yes,
great.
I did.
Or you didn't like him particularly.
Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't after getting him.
Yeah, I think this looks better. I think just from images, this looks better than that Prime. I mean, for one, it doesn't look like there's giant holes in the back of its robot mode where you can see his hands like the Fat Optimus Prime had.
There's not giant holes in the sides of his thighs either, like on the Fat Prime, which is nice.
Yeah, I can't tell if there are any like giant holes in the figure. No, it looks like for the most part he's not getting huge gaps on him, which is shocking.
Pictures, he's pretty solid. That's incredibly rare.
Yeah, in this day and age, his thighs have like
they've got covers, which is
I'm not sure if it's a cover, but it's like there's like the way that it connects to the hip. There's that part, and then there's like a cover that goes over the top of that, which is the part that we see, which is a lot nicer than how we usually see him. The forearms don't have any holes in it either. He has the Matrix, but I really don't give a fuck about the Matrix. I'll be honest.
No, it's Prime. He has a Matrix. Yeah. Okay, fine.
I want to know, like, how many people have like hundreds of Matrixes in like a little box from all of their Optimus Primes at this point? Because it feels like we have had many Matrixes within recent memory. Feels like a lot. I guess maybe the worst.
I just keep them locked up. It's safer at this point. They're all in the chest, but never shall they be removed.
Oh, do you want me to? Well, I won't ruin the figure. Do you want me to ruin the design for you?
Can I stop you?
No, you can't.
Go on.
If you go to Optimus Prime, Transformers Reactive Voyager Optimus Prime 14, it's the back shot where it has a divide on the two sides, right? Where it's got the CGI model on on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it's got the toy. Okay, so on the CGI model, what do those two little blue things look like to you?
thrusters.
Right. What if you look further down and you see how there's a little black line that looks like a smiley face? So he's like cast his eyes down, looking at his own ass, smiling. He's really impressed with his own bum. He's loving his own ass. He's like, oh,
that's Cybertron's ass.
I've done this for Cybertron. Good for me. Exelhead says, bring back Gary Chuck. I mean, I'm down with that. Hell yeah. Orange says, love this guy so far. Looks big and chunky. Matrixies, I think. Matrixies, he thinks the plural is. And Exelhead says, it's the same it's the same War for Cybertron Matrix mold. Is it? Oh, probably. Why am I saying it? It's probably the same mold.
But from what I gather, the Matrix is different for Earthrise Prime, Rodimus Prime, and Laser Prime. I'm sure
they all look the same. I'm not saying you're wrong, but if they're all like completely new molds, they all look the same.
I mean, I haven't tested it myself. It's what someone mentioned, but I agree. They look the same. Yeah. There's no reason they should be different molds, but apparently they are.
I don't need the Matrix, especially like a Matrix that he can't hold. You know, everybody says this. It's like he's a tiny accessory. Can the Optimus Prime in question use it? No. Then why do we have it? What's the point? Silly.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shame.
It's very silly. But yeah, reactive Optimus Prime. I'm interested to see more of these characters. I would be even more interested if there were not like unique characters like Transformers Universe had. But it won't be that. Did you play Transformers Universe for the small amount of time it was out?
I didn't. I missed that one, sadly.
Do you know the game that I'm talking about?
Was that a multiplayer game?
Yeah, it was an online 4v4 third-person shooter game where you were using the Optimus.
I remember seeing it. I just never really did much. I didn't get a chance to do anything with it.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. That's some really interesting, unique designs. To be fair, the Autobots and the Decepticons had the exact same, like, girl transforms into bike, she is a sniper, and then just kind of jigged the model to look a little bit more pointy for the Decepticon version and a little bit more neutral for the Autobot version. You know, so they had to, so it was balanced, so it was equivalent. But it was a pretty good game. They had some really good designs in that, as I've harped on many times beforehand. I'd like some of those kind of unique, interesting character designs. I think we're just going to get like named characters for this game, to be fair.
I mean, I think like I've said before, I'm still amazed that they didn't take the chance to repaint Runabout and Runamuck as the Decepticon grunts from Devastation.
Yeah. They could have done.
Do a 1 gold and 2 blue grunts and those fly for shelves.
You could do that as a Buzzworthy set as well.
Yeah.
And Buzzworthy would have a bloody point. Or I guess you could do the individual releases and put them into the Studio Series Gamer Edition, since what else is Studio Series doing at the moment?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, because I'm sure those molds are sitting somewhere. They could use them. Orange says Roddy's Matrix is Earthrise Prime's Matrix and Galvatron's. So there you go.
Fair enough.
At least Galvatron could have his hanging around his neck awkwardly, but he could do that. Could do that.
He could.
Next up, this is the last story for today. We have the images of the prototype images of the Haslab Dezsarus. Apparently, this guy is getting ready to be shipped off. So if you have yours or have bought one, you've probably got this email. I got an email about the Hiss tank. I know the Hiss tank is going to be shipping pretty soon as well, which I don't think I need to do anything with because my address hasn't changed, so it should be fine.
Likewise, I'm very excited about this because I need to make space for him somewhere.
The Hiss tank, or for Dezsarus, do you mean?
Dezsarus.
Oh, see, this is why I put this story on, because I was like, now, knowing Big D, did he go in on a very expensive figure? And I thought, he might have.
It's a funny story.
Do you have the Star Saber? Oh, the Victory Saber, should say.
I do.
What do you think of that one? How did it turn out in your eyes?
I liked it. Mm-hmm. I will admit, I dropped about 20 quid on a couple of upgrade packs for it, just little things that I felt made it look a little bit better.
Okay.
But looking at it now above my desk, I am very happy to have it.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a character I never thought I'd have in a classics type setup. I thought I'd have to buy the Masterpiece or one of the. In fact, before they announced him, I was gearing up to pick up the Planet X version.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I was really getting close to pulling the trigger on buying that version and the Victory Leo. But then they announced this, and I was like, well, it's actually the version of the character I have more of an attachment to.
Hmm.
Because I did watch Victory when I was in Hong Kong as a kid. So I had that connection to him. And it looked good. And is it perfect? No. Is there stuff that really they should have done for a figure that expensive? Absolutely. The fact that I did end up buying, I spent about 20, 30 quid on upgrades for him. Just little things like a bigger sword blade and a couple of gap fillers and I think some better forearms for the smaller robot.
Hmm.
But those are very minor issues, no more than I've had with any other figure. And in fact, there's a lot less. I mean, I didn't have any of the issues other people had. I know people had issues with some of the paint on, and the gold paint especially. Could be
Yeah, they're like thumbprints or something on some of the some people's gold or something, right?
Yeah. Mine, not an issue.
That's good.
The whole thing. I mean, I am exceptionally happy with how the figure came out. The only thing I could possibly want to do better, and it's a little thing. It's just for me. DNA's upgrade kit gives you an extra joint to the wings on Victory Leo.
How much was that kit? 40 quid?
Well,
50 quid?
I've not bought that kit, frankly, because it is like 50 quid.
Yeah, it looked pretty tap.
For
what you were paying, it looked kind of crappy.
Yeah, I mean, I bought extra bits separately that cost way less, and I think look a lot better. But if someone out there does the extra wing connection that they had in their kit separately,
oh, you might be able to get the if the KO company DNA or whatever you said, maybe they'll do it in the future, or maybe the time's past. Maybe I suppose.
Maybe.
So the question is, I guess you went in for the Dezsarus. You've got the email clearly. I guess. Do we know when it's gonna hit?
They haven't confirmed it yet. I think when Star Saber, they asked for confirmation about a month before shipping started.
Okay, so probably December, maybe.
Yeah, I think mine arrived before Christmas last year.
Yeah.
So if I remember rightly, they didn't launch. I don't think they launched the Dezsarus campaign until after Star Saber began arriving with people.
That sounds about right.
I don't think mine had arrived when Dezsarus launched, but it had arrived before the campaign ended. So, because I'll be honest, I'm quite surprised we haven't a Haslab Transformers figure this year yet, to be fair.
Maybe, like you say, maybe they're waiting for the Dezsarus to hit and then do it.
But even an announcement is quite surprising. You'd have thought they'd have made the announcement at one of the conventions or for Hasbro PulseCon.
I guess it might be hanging back as well. Maybe they're just holding off. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I mean, it's more than likely they just want to keep their powder dry and they don't want to rile people up who are still waiting for Dezsarus. That's fair.
Yeah.
Understandable. I get it completely. But I like how this looks in the packaging.
Yeah. Are you happy enough with the prototype, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, Dezsarus was always going to be a bit of a different case than Star Saber, whereas Star Saber was two quite chunky figures in one box. This is a single figure of the same sort of size with all the accessories on top. I like it. I mean, I had no issues with how the figure looked during the campaign, and seeing it go into development has just reassured me that it should look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm liking the throne is nice, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of use from a lot of people for various dioramas and displays. You get a nice spread of kit with him: sword, mace, big old gun, 2 breast force figures. Yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to him.
I'm looking forward to the His Tank coming out, which should be the same time. For
Yeah.
me, I think the His Tank is a better deal.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been honest. If I was still doing GI Joe, and part of me, I won't lie, I have days where I look at GI Joe Classified and go, "Oh, that looks so good."
It fucking sucks to get into it now, though. It's like the
I
figures
know,
have gone
right?
up from 20 to like 25. And that's if you
Yeah.
can find them. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be good. But seeing some stuff I've done over years, the Sky Striker, the
Oh, you buy
the
GI Joes.
the Dragonfly.
Lame. You'd want the Dragonfly. Lame.
I had two for Dragonfly. I had the Tiger Force and the original version.
Oh, that's fine.
It's
Back in the day, you were a
Cobra.
child. You didn't know. You didn't know.
Cobras are awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And the Hiss Tank.
Oh, sorry. I
looks
thought you meant Fireflies as in like the vehicles, not as in Firefly as in the man Firefly.
Oh no, Dragonfly.
Yeah.
No, Firefly is a creepy mofo.
He's great. I still need to buy him. And how much is the Dezsarus, or was the Dezsarus? Was that 250?
No, he was 180. No, 190. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Same as Star Saber.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this. Do you actually have to confirm your address, or is it just like it'll just send it to your default address? It should just send it to your default, shouldn't it?
They should do. I'm actually trying to think now because I don't think I've had an email yet. Let me just check my emails a second.
How for the Hiss Tank? I don't know. I think people are saying they're getting their confirmation emails for Dezsarus. I assume it's doing the American rounds first, and then we'll do UK after that.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Hiss Tank. Yeah, nothing yet. So, but I imagine it'll be coming through soon.
I've seen some YouTubers who are like, right, fucking cocks because they've got loads of money saying, I ordered 3 Hiss Tanks. I'm like, dude, that's probably over £1,000. I'm like, holy shit.
I mean,
I understand because like having more than one Hiss Tank is cool, but I'm like, damn, I wish I had like £1,000. I could just like blow.
Yeah.
Like, god damn.
I honestly would have loved to have been able to go in on the Ghost, the Rebels that they did earlier this year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, from Star Wars.
At the vintage scale. Because it looks great. But even I have to acknowledge, I've got no fucking room for that thing.
No. That'd be pretty big, even at like the vintage scale, right?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a table. I mean, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. It looks brilliant, and is probably the ultimate collectible of its type at this point. But man, oh man, it's just like
just get the Lego one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go in on Unicron, not just for the cost, also for the where would you put it? Because
to be fair, Unicron looked like shit as well to begin with. If you ask me, never looked.
This is true. There are some of the third-party ones I'm looking at now, thinking. Maybe I should see if one of those is more accessible.
Oh, I mean, that one, they'll be way more accessible. They'll be smaller, cheaper, better quality.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is like look at Thu's video on Unicron, and Thu is trying his best not to hate the figure. Bless him, he was trying so hard. And it's like, dude, no, it's just shit. Don't worry about it. It's just a crap figure. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But that's all of the Transformers news for this week.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all done and dusted. So I guess I can ask you the question, Big D. What you been up to this week, or I guess recently? We could stretch out recently. That's been fun, Transformer wise or non-Transformer wise.
Let's see. Let me see if I can add a picture to the chat for this, because I did do some gunpla last weekend. Kind of gunpla. I built a Macross kit. Because early this year, Bandai launched a new line that they call in their high grade for 1/100 scale Macross Veritex. And they launched it with the YF-19 from Macross Plus, which is a good shot because it's the most recent Macross that most people have easy access to.
Yeah.
Because Harmony God are assholes.
It's always the way.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, in the past, I built... Hang on, So, I built... I don't know if you can share these on the stream, but I
can send
built this a few years ago.
Let's put that on screen.
Okay, now this is it's actually a really nice kit. It's one of the more recent Macross kits that I got from Hobbylink Japan. It's a Siegfried fighter.
Oh,
but
that's nice.
Fully, you have to build it, but it fully transforms. There's a metal pin that you have to put through one of the forms of the main hinge. It's an astonishing bit of engineering.
Huh.
Yeah. After I built it, I transformed it once.
Did it break?
No, but I never want to transform it again.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. Model kits, and especially Macross things, they're never super fun. No matter how good a model kit is at transforming, they're never desperately fun to transform. And I know Macross toys over the years are just they're just complex. They're always complex figures, aren't they?
They are. Now, going back to the high grade 1/100, what they've done here at Bandai is that they brought it under the high grade line that they use for Gundam.
Yeah.
And that's a very specific description because the high grade Gundam kits are, to me, the best of all worlds. Because they're not as complicated as a real grade or a perfect grade or anything like that. They give you a figure that you're not worried is going to fall apart all the time, or for the most part, you're not. Some of the older figures can be, but pretty much all of modern high grades are absolutely wonderful in hand, and you don't need to do much to them. So for them to bring Macross under this banner as well is great. And to launch it with YF-19, one of the more iconic fighters, is equally brilliant. They've done the YF-29 subsequently in 2 variants. I should be getting soon. And next year they've got the YF-21 from Macross Plus, the competitor to the 19 from when they're doing their trials. I've got that on pre-order because this kit absolutely sold me. So one of the things that they've done here is...
even the high grade transforms. That's pretty neat. Yeah,
but here's the thing. It's a parts former.
It's a high grade. Whatever.
It is. But that's what I think makes this great, because the only thing that carries over between all the modes are the legs.
Do you think it being parts formering makes it easier and less faffy to transform?
Yes, because
I thought so.
Because there's things like, it means that the modes can be their own thing. So if you look at the robot mode, you've got the nose cone deeply recessed into the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the jet and Gerwork modes, that whole, from the canard wings forward, that's a wholly separate piece that you build. And you couldn't have that transform because Macross, it doesn't cheat, but it uses lots of engineering that just doesn't exist, and you couldn't replicate to get that effect.
I bet there are model kits and toys out there that have tried over the years and have tried their very best.
In toys a few times. This to me is the best way of doing it, and I was blown away with it. So this is all out of the box with the stickers that come in the box applied to it. So the canopy is polar. The way it's cast, it polarizes, so you get that sheen to it. And then in the last picture, I've actually put all the labels on the jet mode that come in the box. Some of them are cheats because they do fill in areas that are just molded plastic on the toy, on the figure rather. But it looks so good.
Do you think you're going to paint on the black stuff since it's just black? Make it look a bit cleaner, and then you don't need to worry about the stickers?
I mean, in fairness, they do water slide transfers as an alternative. Because Bandai are quite hot on giving people the option. So a lot of the Gundam kits, and they transferred it across to these as well, they will sell a separate water slide kit of labels that gives you the same effect, but you don't have they're not going to lose traction like the stickers are.
Yeah, but that's only usually for like random numbers rather than filling in the detail parts.
Oh no, this is everything.
At least for Gundam kits, I mean.
Yeah,
Gundam
but
kits
I mean,
usually don't go that deep in.
The water transfers give you all the black markings that you got on this one. But I'll tell you what, though, if you look at the robot, the Batteroy mode, apart from actually, yeah, almost all of the coloring, the black, the red on that is color separation.
Oh yeah.
It's all molded.
Yeah.
I only had to put a few labels on to get a few little bits here and there. I might take a marker to it to pick out the panel lining.
Yeah,
but
panel lining.
I don't think I need to because it looks pretty good as it is and it poses nicely. So yeah, that was last weekend.
All right.
And then this week, between work, I didn't do much. And then yesterday, I had I had a new kit arrive for my Cities of Sigma.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
It's a new kit that I've bought, but it's an old kit in release because I'd never had it before. It's the old plastic Imperial Griffin.
Okay.
Yeah. And instead of Mr. Carl Franz, I opted to put the wizard on it, make it a double header. And you know what? I quite enjoyed building it, to be honest. It's an older kit, so it's probably not as nice as some of the more recent stuff GW's done.
Yeah.
But I think it holds its own perfectly well. And it's a nice kind of a centerpiece, or it'll be a nice attraction in the army. So I'm still getting my head around Cities of Sigma for how I want to take my build. But it's getting there. And then today I built the first of my Storm Drake Guard.
Oh, nice.
So a dragon.
They're the ones that you got in the collection magazines, right?
They haven't done these yet. They're going to be towards the end of the magazine. I have had these for over a year because I bought last year's Stormcast Army box set.
Right.
And I'm finally getting to it. Does it surprise anyone?
Well, later than never, you know.
Yeah, but I've got another 2 coming because I ordered the pack with the Stormcast Chaplain dude on a dragon.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I remember talking about him on Fluff and Hammer with Griffin and whatnot.
Yeah, so I've got him coming, and he comes with an extra 2 Dragon Guard. Which is cool, because they're actually really nice dragons, to be honest. I'm partly wondering, can I build a Cities of Sigma list and fit in some dragons?
Oh,
just for
interesting.
Giggles. Yeah, I've been kind of getting on a bit of an Age of Sigmar kick recently because the lore's finally starting to click for me, where in a way it hasn't in the past.
Because it hasn't done anything for so many months.
There is that. But even when the previous few editions, when they launched, I've kind of struggled to connect with it, but now I'm starting to finally get it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've got some ideas.
Nice. Is that it?
I built my first few Marvel Crisis Protocol minis as well.
Hey. Damn, you got so many minis, man. You got loads.
Yeah. No, I picked up a Web Warriors pack for dirt cheap off eBay.
Right. So
like
Spider-Man stuff, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Venom, Peter, Gwen, and Miles. Which,
okay.
Not a bad little set. So now I want more web slingers.
That's fair.
Help.
Yeah.
Help me.
You need the Life Foundation. The Life Foundation.
Yeah, that's me. Oh, and I've been trying to investigate this Samsung Plus channel that airs Transformers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think last time you told me that they were. What was it? It was G1, and then you said they were doing.
They're doing some Armada and some animated.
Yeah. So it has grown. It's not just G1 now, which is good.
Yeah, but I can't work out what their schedule is because you turn it on and there's episodes that I'm sure they didn't run sequentially in that form when they first released, but it's nice to have it as an option if you want to watch Transformers.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
for myself, I've been getting more RID Warrior class figures because, I'm getting very close to having all of the molds. Not all of them just yet, but pretty close. So this week I got Bumblebee, who's not bad.
Cool.
It's just a standard Bumblebee. I've got the picture of the Adventures one on screen, but it's not the Adventures one I have, so it doesn't have as nice colors. But the mold itself is still pretty cool. Pretty good transformation. He's got a waist joint, which is kind of rare for the Warrior class figures. I'd say the worst thing about the figure is he's got very big shoulders, so they kind of bump into his shoulders and into his back pieces when you're just trying to pose him around. That can be a little bit annoying. And he has basically the hood of the roof of the car on the back of his legs. It's not as egregious as like Legacy Hot Rod. It's not nearly that bad. It's not nearly that bad, but it's a similar idea where it's like, the knees do the 90-degree bend, but it just these parts kind of clash when you're just kind of posing it around. I think that's the issue with the Bumblebee mold here from the Warriors line. Bits just kind of crash into each other. It's good. It's better than another figure I'll talk about. But yeah, a little bit crashy. Great in vehicle mode. I think the vehicle mode for the Bumblebee figure is really cool. It's a cross between it is a version of Transformers Prime Bumblebee's car mode. I think this is a better toy than either of the Prime Bumblebee figures that we've had, to be honest. Because the first edition was a little bit overly complex, and I don't think really achieved something great for being as complex as it was. And the cheaper version was just shit.
Fair.
The cheaper one was crap. He also comes with the Matrix sword, which is nice. It feels weird that Bumblebee has that, but RID was a crap show, so what can you do?
It was a very odd show.
It was crap. The show was ass. It's not the worst Transformers show, but it was shockingly bad. I also got Sideswipe. He has a syndrome which the RID Warrior class figures have, which is the bitch I'm gonna slap you hand pose. His fingers are always outstretched. Him and Fracture have these kind of hands. I can't remember if anybody else does, but it looks really unnatural, him holding a sword. If you make your hand into almost a C shape, and then you straighten out your fingers, keeping your thumb in that position, that's the kind of hand pose that they've got. So imagine trying to hold his like a katana pose with that kind of hand. It looks weird. Like if you just stand with that kind of hand position, it looks weird. People would think you have problems. It's not the only issue with Sideswipe. It's got an interesting transformation where...
I thought you were going to say he's a dick.
Well, he is. I mean, yeah, the character of him and Strongarm, neither of those characters are desperately nice in that show. They're both assholes, just in different ways.
Yeah.
Like Strongarm's an uptight bitch who's just insufferable to be around, and Sideswipe's the annoying 5-year-old child. He keeps shitting his pants and needing his underwear changed, which is also annoying. But Sideswipe has this interesting idea where if you look at the figure, he's got these pointy red bits coming up from behind his head. Those are the front. Those are the parts of the hood of the car that go over the top of the wheels, so they kind of swing around. So the pointy bit is the back. So you kind of turn one side counterclockwise, half counterclockwise, and the other side of it, the other kind of clockwise. It's an interesting idea, but it's kind of messy. And the the wheels are on a black joint. If you see where the shoulder joint is, it kind of runs down. That black piece is all one part, and the chest is on a little hinge where you swing down basically his boobs, and you peg the black hinges of the wheels into the chest. It sounds like an interesting idea, but because there's nothing behind those wheels to kind of hold them in place, they can come out of position very easily. They unpeg themselves quite frequently, just kind of moving.
I was going to say, it sounds interesting, but fiddly as hell.
It's a little bit hard to explain. I do better with pictures. If I'd been smart, I would have taken some pictures, but I've already kind of put them in a box. But it doesn't make for a very fun transformation, and like I say, he kind of unpegs. And again, they're just parts because of his like giant door arms, those kind of bonk on things. The main issue is like the unpegging of like his shoulders. That's kind of an issue. An interesting idea. I don't think pulls it off desperately well. Drift is better. I don't know. They've kind of mistransformed him in this image that I'm using. For some reason, they haven't straightened his arms out, which is odd. Drift's okay. His waistskirt doesn't hamper the articulation as much as you'd think it does. But it does hinder it. They're on like swingy out joints on hinges, so they can swing out. But even then, you can imagine swinging those joints out. It doesn't get rid of the problem completely. He's got a lot of shin, not a lot of thigh, a lot of shin though.
Yeah, he's a weird old Titan, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see what they were trying to emulate the figure, and I think they did an okay job at the price point. But it's there's just parts about him that are a bit strange. He doesn't have a waist joint. He has a chest joint, so you can get those kind of turning of the position for the chest in, and it's good enough to replicate it. The transformation's okay. It's not great. That's kind of how I would describe the figure. He's okay. For some reason, he's got hinges on the insides of his wrists as well. If you can see them in the image, there's a pin going through his wrist.
That's a choice.
It's an extra joint that's there. I don't know why.
Does it not do anything?
It hinges the hand in and out.
Oh wait, I see. So the hands actually. Sorry, I thought you were referring to the hinge a bit further up that goes up and down. I thought that was maybe.
No, that's his elbow. Like I say, they haven't
move at all for the transformation. They just
No. I didn't even realize he had these joints until I looked at this image and saw there was a pin going through them.
How bizarre!
Yeah, and this is the standard version. It's not the Adventures version because the colors are shit on him, which is the one I have. So I don't know exactly why he's got those hinges there. Maybe it's to help him grab his swords from his sheaths. Well, you stick them through on the side skirts. Maybe. It's still odd that they're there though.
I think we've been a bit charitable with it, to be fair.
Same, but it's the only thing I can think of, because why would you spend money to make the hands separate, to have them on these hinge joints, just hinge in and outwards? Up and down makes sense in kind of, because you could swing them down and get it, so it's like he's pointing the sword forward. That makes sense. Yeah. But even then, I don't know why you do it, and you haven't done it with any of the Rid Warrior class figures. It's odd. He's better than Sideswipe. He does feel a little bit messy in places though. I think the RID line gets better as it goes on. Bumblebee was better, but he's a bit clattery. Sideswipe was a mess. This guy is a bit all over the place in some ways. Again,
so question: you say you're almost complete on the RID Warrior class.
Yes.
Which would you say is? And I appreciate these are not necessarily going to be the same answer. Your favorite and the best figures you've had so far?
I think the Bludgeon Megatronus / Blastwave mold is really good. Yeah. That's a great little toy. It doesn't turn into the best tank. None of the 3 molds turn into the best tank. But in terms of robots, they all look good. The Bludgeon looks really good. He looks fantastic. I really like the Starscream mold. Yeah. He transforms in a pretty neat way, to be honest. Who's my favorite? It might be Bludgeon. I'm not sure. It might be Bludgeon or Starscream. I really enjoy how they swish in hand. And the last one I got from the set, because I also got Bludgeon. I won't talk about Bludgeon because I've talked about Megatronus and I've talked about probably Blastwave. It's the same mold, so whatever. I got Jazz. Jazz is a pretty fun transformer. He's better than the other ones. He's not quite as clattery and his transformation's fine. He's actually mistransformed in this image.
Is he as white in hand as that picture?
Yes.
Because that's blinding.
Yeah, he's a very white figure. You can get stickers to make him look more accurate. But like I say, for some reason they mistransformed him. His roof is really hanging low over his ass in this shot, and it doesn't have to. You can that is on a hinge that actually folds up and pegs into his back. He's still got a little bit of like hood hanging down below his like groin, but not as much as he does here for some reason. My biggest issue with Jazz is I don't know if you can tell it from this image, but he's really wide.
Yeah,
he's like
I was
really wide. Like his his chest and shoulders. It looks
very wide, and he's got slight gorilla arms by the looks of things.
The arms aren't too bad. I think they could maybe do it a little bit higher up. But I think it's really because of how wide he is. It reminds me a lot of Rhino from Gladiators from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like he's not very tall, but like he'd have difficulties walking through a door without like banging his shoulders into them.
He'd just take the door with him.
Yeah, pretty much. I like Jazz quite a bit. He needs his stickers. You really need to get stickers from a lot of these figures. You really need to get stickers for, to be fair. His weapons, weird. It's a lance. He can hold it like a lance, or he can hold it awkwardly like a gun. I don't know. It's weird. I think if you just if you reduced his width a little bit more and tightened him up a little bit, he'd be a lot better. There is another version of Jazz that has the battle mask, so it looks more like Jazz. Some people say that the face on this Jazz is scary, and I would agree from the artwork. The artwork on the packaging of this Jazz, he is very scary. He's got the "I'm gonna eat your children" eyes.
Nice.
But obviously it doesn't look as bad here. But again, he's a pretty fun transformer. Gridline. There are very few ones where I'm like, this is shit. Sideswipe I'd probably put down as this is shit. Twinferno I'd probably put down as pretty shit. Which is kind of a shame because I kind of looked at Twinferno and hoped he would be really cool, but I think his transformation barely does anything, unfortunately. Thunderhoof might be one of the top contenders as well for great figures. Thunderhoof's really good. Apart from that, sorry?
20, 30 odd figures of RID? Something like that?
From the Warrior class?
Yeah.
Are we talking unique molds? I can't remember exactly. I can tell you the molds I don't have. I don't have the Optimus Prime mold, the Optimus Prime Power Surge mold, which is pretty similar. It's just slight retool. I don't have the Strong Arm one. I don't have Grimlock. I don't have Quillfire or his repaint. And I think in terms of molds, that's all of the molds I don't have. So it's like 5 distinct molds, which I'm missing.
Well, if you want to, I have Strong Arm around here somewhere.
Oh, do you? Okay. Might consider it, yeah. The problem is like she's not good. She's really inaccurate. I actually have the strong. Do you remember the line of the RID figures where they were smaller and they came with like a little minicon buddy and then like translucent energon pieces which you could put on the minicon figure or onto the robot.
I bought my nephew the Bumblebee and Sideswipe 2-pack of those from HLJ's sale a few years back.
Yeah, I got the strong arm specifically because I wanted to get a strong arm at the time because I liked her design. I didn't like her as a character, but I was like, oh, the design's neat. And I got that one because it's even the Japanese adventure version of Strong Arm, there's inconsistencies in the color scheme. I can't remember exactly what they were, but I remember looking at that Strong Arm and being like, that's technically the best looking Strong Arm and closest to a color scheme. Even with the stickers that you can get from retro labels for the Warrior class one, you can't fix her head. Her head's meant to be white and it's just colored all blue for some reason. And you can't fix that with stickers. Yeah, like her helmet's completely blue and it should be white. And the ring around like her face should be blue, and then it should be grey in the center for that. And then there's like some stripes on the top of her head as well. It's faffy.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna be grabbing the legacy version of her at some point. So
I'm sorry.
I quite like how it looks, to be honest. I like that mold.
No, it's crap.
But,
it doesn't look like Strong Arm. It looks like Elita 1 with a really crappy head mold with a nose, which Strong Arm shouldn't have, in my eyes.
Yeah, but I've not bought that version as Elita 1, so it's fine.
I don't hear great things about it. I think people said it was meh.
I have it as Minerva. I quite like it as in that colours and as that character.
Okay, all right.
That might just be me wanting that version of that character, though. So,
well, there's still very little versions of Minerva. That's fair enough. I just don't hear great things about that mold, and I really don't like what they did with her head for strong arm. And again, it just doesn't have the strong arm silhouette. It would be like making Striker out of the Minerva mold. It's like no, it's a good try, guys, but no, it's not even
now
close.
you said it, I fully expect the next row of announcements. Here's Striker.
He's Striker, yeah. Well, you never know. In terms of watching things, I've been watching Free Ren Beyond Journey's End, an anime from Japan-land.
I've been wanting to watch that. Any good?
Yeah, it's an interesting anime. For those not aware, the kind of brief synopsis is this takes place after like the hero and their team have beaten the Demon Lord, and it's kind of focused around the elf who lives for thousands and thousands of years. So this 10-year journey of like going and beating the Demon Lord is just like a Sunday afternoon to her, so it doesn't really matter.
It's like a holiday.
Yeah. So she really hasn't felt like she's made any connections with the hero. She like doesn't feel like that she knows them, and obviously to them it's been 10 years, so they're like, oh, we know you really well, and you know we're really close and everything like that. The heroes start passing on because they die, you know, because time goes on, and it's her kind of going back through her journey through those 10 years and trying to reconnect with, like, man, it's kind of sad that I didn't know these people, and I probably should know them. Yeah. So it's not like an action show. Don't go in expecting like crazy, like, wow, look at the power levels and all that jazz. It's more of a it's interesting trying to figure out how a being that lives for that long interacts with people. Like a day to her is probably like a second to us.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure out that the concept of like perspective on things is interesting. It's kind of the reverse idea of, do you remember the new Thundercats show where they had the little flower creatures that lived for a day and then they died? And that was a really cool emotional episode, which was great. One of the best episodes of that series. Just a really strong episode. It's kind of like the other side of that. What if you're a really old being and you're looking at these younger races? It's good. It's good. That's animated by Madhouse as well, so it's very nice to look at.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And the other thing I've been watching is Goblin Slayer Season 2.
Excellent.
Did you like Goblin Slayer Season 1? If yes, you will like Goblin Slayer Season 2. It's not really doing anything different story-wise, but killing goblins.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be done by a different animation house, so I don't think it looks visually as nice. From what I remember, I could be misremembering Season 1 of the show.
See, Goblin Slayer is one of those shows that I need to sit down and watch them. I haven't watched Season 1 at all. Okay. Purely because there was other stuff when it came out, and I just passed it by.
Some people saw the first episode and couldn't handle it, so it doesn't.
It's on my to watch list at some point. So
like Goblin, I wouldn't like rush out and watch Goblin Slayer. It's not like a immensely interesting story or anything like that. Yeah. It's fine. It's like you know, whatever.
Yeah,
it's fun enough. You kill some goblins. The goblins are very easy to not enjoy, so you know that's fine. They're not made of mushrooms, so they're not the Age of Sigmar goblins, which is kind of a shame.
Yes, no nutritional value here.
No, exactly. Yeah. Goblin, I don't know what to say about Goblin Slayer apart from like it's
more.
It's just more. It's not like doing anything desperately cool, desperately interesting. But if you just want something that's fairly like lowbrow, where you don't have to think too hard, or even like it's not going to push any expectations on storytelling. But it's like it's fine. It's fine. I did watch one episode of your Ludloss. What was the anime called?
Record of Lodos War.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of that and thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't again not amazing, but I was like, oh, this is fun.
I mean, it is literally a D&D campaign. They released it as the in Japan, Dungeons and Dragons has that whole aesthetic of Lodos War is how Dungeons and Dragons looks in Japan. Big old elf ears and all that jazz.
Yeah, she's got big elf ears. The Japanese love the really like the elf ears that you could glide off a cliff with, kind of big ears, which is fine.
So if someone calls you a knife ear in Japan, they mean it.
Yeah. No, it's more like a broadsword ear.
But no, Lodos War is a very interesting show. I first experienced it from a friend of mine's VCR that started about halfway through the first arc.
Hmm.
So I didn't find out more about it until I picked up the DVDs about a decade later.
It's weird because it's only like 13 episodes or so. It's not a long one either, really.
There's a sequel to it.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually in Japan. It had a decent old run. I think 'cause there's the originals, the first series. There's a follow-on to it. I'm sure they've done so many light novels and manga around it's not funny.
Huh.
And they've returned to it now, and it's quite well beloved in that arena, shall we say.
Yeah, I liked it purely on, like, I could tell it was, like, it felt like, it's really sad to say, it felt like old D&D. And when I say it felt like old D&D, I mean, it didn't, like, the dialogue didn't feel like California. And that's specifically my issue with, like, Baldur's Gate. The dialogue feels very Californian. And whenever I see people playing the game, it feels like Californians are playing it. Yeah, and you can take that whatever you like to mean, but it doesn't feel like the setting. It doesn't feel like a medieval setting. It feels like modern day California. That's just people talking.
I can understand that.
Kek Lamau and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, if I'm gonna do, I would hate to have like a Californian styled adventure in like a Warhammer universe. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Well, you say that. I've been listening to the Black Pants Legion, their Magistratum Mundanus role-playing campaign.
All right.
Which is, I don't know what system they used for it. It might have been one of the official GW ones, but it's basically this party of random 40k Imperial archetypes. There's a Death Legion trooper, there's a foppish psyker, a Death World barbarian, a clerk, and a hive gunslinger, who've all just been transferred to this same planet, to this same unit in a, not even an Arbites unit, they're in a planetary police force, and it's just hilarious.
Okay.
And very, very silly.
Oh, I can give you an example of Californian speak in 40k, which I heard someone, I don't know whether they said this was what happened for their campaign or if it was just an example. I think the person was an inquisitor or someone like that had come to a planet and was complaining about the workers' rights issues on the planet.
What, that they had some?
No, that they were being discriminated against, and I'm like, you're in the 40k universe. What do you think is going to happen on a Forge world? They don't treat people like people. They're there to make the thing fixed, and that's it.
You're an inquisitor.
Apparently, she said this. She was complaining about this stuff too. I think the idea of the conversation was the person, this inquisitor, was talking to a sister of battle and saying we need to the people need to rise up against the emperor in this. And it's like, what are you doing? And I think at the end, the DM said the sister of battle turns a flamer on you and burns you to death. It's like, why? She's a sister of battle. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you can't be like, fuck the emperor in front of a sister of battle. She'll kill you.
Yeah. The Magistrate and the BPL guys, they get it.
Yeah,
they may be playing it from an American angle, but they get the absurdities of the 40k universe. They go all in.
Yeah, there are certain things you cannot do. You cannot do without severe repercussions, and those repercussions will mean your character dies.
Yes.
Your character dies either horribly or quickly. Usually not quickly. You can't challenge the system in 40k. You just can't do it. It's too big. You're one person. The system
doesn't care.
Look, if Horus, with all of his legions, couldn't change the system, you and your party of 4 dudes are not going to change the system.
Well, I mean, it's a system where they have a Primarch at the moment leading the Imperium, and the Inquisition are waging a shadow war against his own
Yeah,
His story, it's hilarious.
a Primarch who is revered pretty heavily can't do it. You can't do it. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Stuff like that annoys me when I see
Yeah.
campaigns. I can't stand it. It
That's fair.
hurts my soul.
Yeah.
But if chat has any questions, you can fart them over now. Any will do.
Can I mention a few things I've watched this week as well?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, I didn't think you had.
Sorry, I didn't think to mention any of those.
Yeah, shoot away.
Let's see. Star Trek Lower Decks finished this week, which was frankly a brilliant half hour of TV. Lower Decks is one of my favorite shows now, full stop. So if you get a chance, this season's been on a blinder.
I hope you tell them to chat that, not me.
Yep.
Good.
Chat, go watch it. Even if Andy doesn't want to.
I fucking hate that show.
But it's made with love.
It doesn't. It feels like it's just like Lamau look at Star Trek.
Well, it is,
and I hate
but
that.
it's for it makes for deep cuts you only get if the team behind it have a deep, loving connection to the source material.
But it feels like it's just that's mostly the show. It's just, hey, do you remember this thing? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I know. I understand. That's the thing. I know you. It's like, haha, that's the thing.
But it uses that as a framework. It has a lot of stuff where it's not doing that. And that's when it shines when it does that.
I just hate the show. I've watched. I remember Mikey said it got better after episode 13, and it didn't. I just hated it.
Fair enough.
I wish Star Trek could be good again, but for me, it's not.
Okay. Well, I'm hesitant to say this one. I've been watching Loki.
Oh God. Oh no.
Which
I'm so sorry.
I've really enjoyed.
I'm so sorry.
This week's episode was pretty good.
Oh no. I'm the god of stories. What? Where did you get the power from?
Hey, I liked that. That was a great twist in the comics when they came up with that idea, making him the god of stories. I liked that.
It was in the comics. Fine.
Yeah.
It was done well in the comics. It was just pulled out of their ass in the show.
And then anime-wise, I've been watching the latest season of Ancient Magus Bride.
Okay.
Which continues to delight me.
I stopped with Ancient Magus Bride. I didn't think it was a bad show. I thought it was a very pretty show. It just didn't hold me. The plot, the forward momentum didn't hold me. But I thought it was.
Did you get through the first season or not?
No, I got up to this is going to be hard for you to like divine where I was up to, but like it was a ravine. There was I remember there being a big ravine. They went on a journey and there was a big ravine. Maybe they went to a big garden, and I kind of stopped around there.
Did it have the dragons?
Maybe it might have been the dragon area that I stopped. I was just like,
that was close to the end of season 1, but season 2 mixes things up a bit, and Chise's journey's been one that I've thoroughly enjoyed following. So, horses for courses. Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. The first arc was a blinder. The second arc, we're now the Shibuya incident. It's basically an extended series of fights, which always get me worried with a shonen series, but it looks lovely. So
Jujutsu Kaisen is super pretty.
At least it's beautifully animated.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Some of the fights do get properly fist crunching. Spy Time's Family is back.
Oh, Spy X Family. Yeah, I haven't started season 2 yet.
Which is, as ever, just wonderful.
Just fun. Yeah, season 1 was fun. Yeah. Season 2 looks like it's just more fun. It's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, we've started in now on the first big story arc for Yor on our own.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Is well deserved. So I'm looking forward to see where that goes. And probably tomorrow now, we've got the finale of Attack on Titan finally. So,
hasn't it already happened? Because I've been seeing no, it's tomorrow. Yeah, okay, yeah. Because I saw people post up images of the to be continue screen, and it said the end, and I was like, oh,
yeah, it released yesterday, so I'll get to it eventually.
I can't remember where I stopped. I stopped at some point with Attack on Titan during the war stuff when Eren became big global monster thing. I think I stopped around the gap then, and I didn't know it came back because it's like season 2.
Well, to be fair,
like season 3, the final season, part 3?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's silly. I can't remember whereabouts I stopped. But I need to get back.
I will give them a smidgen of credit for the finale's 90 minutes, and the previous episode was 90 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So, although we had like a 6-month break between those, they were nice meaty
Wow.
chunks, and yeah.
That's probably where I stopped. I probably stopped at that 6-month break and just didn't know it came back.
Well, to be fair, it was like
Until
a year
today.
between. I think it was a year between
What, season 1
the
and
last
season
batch
2?
of the
Oh.
last batch of episodes of the final season and the previous part of that they did.
Yeah, probably.
Until today. Until yesterday.
I thought you were going to say between season 1 and 2, and I was going to go, no, it was much longer than that.
Oh yeah, that was
way longer. It was such a bad idea for them to do that. They killed their momentum with just like the standard fan, like the non-anime fan who's just like, I like Attack on Titan. It's
I mean,
like,
I get why, because the manga was nowhere near complete at that point.
No,
but it was, the fact that it's now it is complete. It's taken us so long to finish it. I appreciate animations of very stressful business and whatnot, but stretching out that much, that's kind of inexcusable, unfortunately.
It was also a real shame that that Madhouse didn't continue to do it. Not that the people doing it now are bad. It's just Madhouse.
Well, Mappa are the guys who do Jujutsu Kaisen, so I mean, if they're doing both at the same time, I kind of get it, but equally, why take on two such intensive projects at the same time? But,
Muddy, probably.
More than likely, to be fair, because those two properties are
they're pretty good at the moment.
Yep, they're hot, but I need to get caught up on the actual new shows that are running this season, because Freyan is one that I've liked to look at, and there's a couple of others I need to try and take a closer look at if I can.
Yeah, I'd say Freyan's pretty fun. Like it's interesting. Well, it's more of the emotional journey, I suppose, rather than it's not Jujutsu Kaisen where they're all going to be fighting, which would be kind of funny if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of new fantasy shows this season, so one of those could be good for us just to have a bit of a binge around Christmas time, maybe when they're complete and possibly dubbed.
Is that all you've watched? Have you seen anything else?
No, that's it for me. And otherwise, mostly I've just been watching YouTube. So
yeah, I've been watching a dude play through the Spider-Man 2 game. I think I'm near the end of it. I think the writing quality has taken a big dip from the first game. I think the writing quality is more in line with the Miles Morales game, which I think was pretty fucking bad in terms of its writing. This, I would describe, without spoilers, I would describe Spider-Man 2's story feeling more like Spider-Man 3, the movie, where it's everything in the kitchen sink.
That's a shame.
Miles' story and Peter's story barely connect together. Like, they feel like two separate stories have been sort of stitched together. Like, oh, they're happening at the same time. It's really important. It's like you could have made them different. You could have put them on separate games, and I don't think it would have changed things at all. I don't think so.
That's kind of a shame.
Yeah, it feels like they just slapped them all together. There's a lot of really bad writing choices as well, that I would say. There's a conflict between Peter and the character, and Peter said, I'm sorry, I've been selfish. And you're like, Spider-Man being selfish? It's like, no. When is Peter selfish? When?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. He's selfish once, and he regrets it eternally.
Yeah, and you could be like, oh, it's when he has the symbiote on him. It's like, yeah, I think you can let that one go. Alien goo on you that manipulates your mind. I think you can let that one go. So he has to apologize for not fulfilling somebody else's dream and living Peter's dream. And I was like, Peter's dream is not to be Spider-Man. Peter's responsibility is to be Spider-Man, but it's not his dream. I think Peter's dream would be to be a normal guy, have a family, and have a 9-to-5.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I hate the retcon that the symbiote makes Peter basically an asshole. I mean, it wasn't even Sam Raimi's fault. That came out of the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s.
Did it not happen in the original comic book? Because I saw, like, for me...
No, it made him a little bit... It made him slightly more aggressive at times, but not noticeably so. The only thing it did was it would take him out at times when he was asleep. The symbiote would take over and go web swinging without him.
Right. So why did he want to get rid of it then? Because I can see a legit reason
because Reed Richards thought that it was going to bond itself to him permanently within a certain time frame, and people have basically freaked out.
Okay. I think I can see why they retconned it, because it gives a bit more urgency when it's affecting your mind rather than just like, oh, it's going to be on you forever. It's like,
Perhaps, but it means that the symbiote kind of has a reason for being pissed.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly say why the symbiote, at least from what I know, it doesn't exactly explain why the symbiote is like, oh, I'm going to turn you against all your friends and family. I think the idea is because it wants to be possessive, but it's like, why?
I mean, then again, I quite liked how Marvel have tried to make Venom not heroic, but much more nuanced in terms of that he's actually a character, not so much of...
Yes. Yeah, I think that's neat. I'm not sure how I feel about him and the symbiotes being from space and a police force. That seems a bit weird.
Oh, they've moved beyond that a bit.
Okay.
Although I did like that how that ran when Flash was Agent Venom.
That's fine. I don't mind that. I mean, like him and the entire race between space police. Stuff. That's odd.
Oh, they've gone a step further than that now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's no longer the Venom as the symbiotes as Space Knights. No, they've revealed that there's a big evil god of the symbiotes.
Yeah, Null. I have a toy of him because I thought he looked cool. He was very edgy.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the sword that Gore used?
Gore the God Butcher. Yes, it's his sword originally, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's just like it couldn't have just been Gore's sword.
I let that one pass because Jason Aaron wrote the entire thing from that arc of 4 through to Null and his arrival on Earth.
Yeah.
So I'll let that one slide because for one creator, so clearly he had a plan, quotation marks. But no, I've quite enjoyed Venom over the last few years, where the writers have just gone a bit bonkers with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, which is just fun.
Like, I don't mind Null in concept. I just don't think he needs to exist. Like, I don't need there to be a Venom, like, I don't need this Venom Space Knights. I don't need Venom to be, like, part of a weird space god entity of the void. It feels like it's a bit much. If you want to develop Venom as a character, that's fine, but it feels like it's going a bit crazy. It's going a bit silly. It's like, can it just be a weird space alien thing? Does it have to be from a weird null void god?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it has led to the hilarity of Eddie Brock of all people having sit-down chats with Doctor Doom and Kang. And they treat him as an equal.
Oh, no.
As does Captain America, which is equally...
That's, that's odd.
Yeah.
That's a bit much. I mean, Eddie Brock, fine. He's an anti-hero. That's fine. He could sit down, maybe not be treated as an equal, but he could sit down with Steve Rogers and like have a normal conversation while he's being an anti-hero. Sure, fine. But being respected by Doctor Doom, Doctor Doom doesn't respect like anybody. I was like, is there anybody he respects? It's like, no. Well, Reed Richards' daughter, that's about it.
Storm.
Do you respect Storm? Okay.
Yes, but that's mainly because she slapped him down big style post Krakoa terraforming Mars.
Oh.
It was quite funny.
I think this is where we're going to have to end the show then. Big D.
Yeah, we're digressing even more than usual here, aren't we?
Just a tad. Thanks everybody for coming on by. Hope you've had a good time. I will be back on Tuesday to be playing more video games if you want that. We'll be back here on the Moonbase 2 podcast otherwise for Transformers next week, 8 o'clock in the evening UK time. Where can people find you on the internet, Big D, if you want them to?
I am wherever you can find a cranky-looking cup face and a weird well-spelled name. That's probably going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I have it online everywhere. I don't hide myself, apart from behind this mask. My name's me. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever's. I write occasionally for ukanime.net, and I help where I can with Adam on the Fluff and Hammer. I run the monthly watch along. Last night we did Rain of Fire and Riddick.
I jumped in briefly, saw it was Rain of Fire and ran away. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, I have issues with that under the Trade Descriptions Act.
Yeah.
The poster promised me Apaches, damn it, versus dragons.
You did not get that. No, it lied.
No, I did not. Next month is still to be decided, but we might try and do something for the Christmas weekend as well,
Oh,
and New Year's. Maybe have a few marathons running just to perk people up if they're getting worn down by the holiday experience.
nice. XL Hedge says one thing the Venom movie do right, ? Venom is a separate character from his host. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I didn't like the Venom movie, but yeah, at least it did that. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube as Decayed Andy, Rotten Corpse of a Human Being. As it was said, Moonbase 2 podcast. Twitter, Twitch, Libsyn, iTunes, patreon.com/Moonbase2 if you want to help out the show. Much appreciated. Until then, thanks everybody for coming on by, and we'll see you hopefully next week for more Moonbase 2 Poopcast time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.